The average time to rough in a residential basement electrical system can vary depending on the size of the basement, the complexity of the layout, and the experience of the electricians. Based on industry standards, the time that it is taking might be a bit slow. Several factors affect work speed. Firstly, the size and complexity of the basement. Larger and more complex basements will take longer to wire. Secondly, the number of electrical fixtures. The more outlets, switches, and lights that need to be installed, the longer it will take. Thirdly, material availability. If materials are not readily available, delays may occur. Fourthly, the experience of the electricians. More experienced electricians will be faster and more efficient than beginners. Fifthly, the efficiency of the work process. Optimizing workflow and using efficient techniques can save time. For a basement of average size and complexity, installing 22 outlets, 24 recess lights, 5 ceiling boxes for globe lights, 2 CAT-TV, 2 telephone, 1 ceiling fan per wire, and 14 switches should take approximately 2 8-hour days. Here are some recommendations for improving speed. Firstly, plan ahead. Determine the location of all electrical fixtures and prepare the materials needed before starting work. Secondly, divide and conquer. Assign specific tasks to each person to avoid bottlenecks. Thirdly, use efficient tools. Invest in power tools and specialty tools that can speed up the process. Fourthly, learn from experienced electricians. Seek guidance from more experienced professionals to learn best practices and improve efficiency. Practice makes perfect. The more often electrical work is performed, the faster and more skilled one will become. By following these recommendations, work speed can be significantly improved, and project completion time can be brought closer to the industry average. It is important to consider the size and layout of the basement. A larger basement with multiple rooms and intricate designs will naturally require more time to wire than a smaller, simpler basement. The complexity of the electrical plan also plays a role. If the plan includes advanced lighting controls, home automation features, or specialized circuits, the rough-in process will be more time-consuming. The number of electrical fixtures directly impacts the duration of the rough-in. Each outlet, switch, light fixture, and appliance requires wiring, connections, and secure mounting. The more fixtures there are, the more time it will take to complete the installation. Ensuring that all necessary materials are readily available on site is crucial for avoiding delays. Before starting the rough-in, create a comprehensive materials list and double-check that everything is on hand. This includes wire, connectors, boxes, straps, screws, and any specialized components required by the electrical plan. The experience level of the electrician significantly affects their speed and efficiency. Seasoned electricians who have completed numerous basement rough-ins will be familiar with common challenges and efficient wiring techniques. Beginners may require more time to figure things out and may make mistakes that need to be corrected. Optimizing the work process can lead to significant time savings. This involves organizing tools and materials, pre-planning the wiring routes, and using efficient techniques for stripping wires, making connections, and securing cables. Consider using a wire-pulling lubricant to ease the process of running wires through conduits or tight spaces. It is important to prioritize safety throughout the rough-in process. Always disconnect power to the circuits being worked on, wear appropriate personal protective equipment, and follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. While speed is important, it should never come at the expense of safety or quality. Accurate layout and marking is essential for a smooth and efficient rough-in. Use a laser level or chalk line to establish straight lines and consistent heights for outlets, switches, and light fixtures. This will ensure a professional and aesthetically pleasing result. When running wires, follow the shortest and most direct routes possible. Avoid unnecessary bends or loops, as these can increase the amount of wire needed and make it more difficult to pull the wires through the walls or ceilings. Secure all wires and cables properly using straps or staples. This will prevent them from sagging, rubbing against sharp edges, or becoming a safety hazard. Use the correct type of fastener for the material being secured to, such as wood, concrete, or or metal. When making electrical connections, ensure that they are tight and secure. Use Y connectors that are appropriately sized for the wires being joined and twist them on firmly. Wrap the connections with electrical tape for added insulation and protection. Proper grounding is crucial for electrical safety. Ensure that all outlets, switches, and fixtures are properly grounded according to the electrical code. Use a grounding conductor of the correct size and connect it securely to the grounding system. After completing the rough-in, thoroughly inspect all wiring, connections, and grounding to ensure that they are correct and meet all applicable codes. Use a multimeter or circuit tester to verify that circuits are properly wired and that there are no shorts or open circuits. Consider using a checklist to ensure that all steps have been completed and that nothing has been overlooked. This can help to prevent costly mistakes and delays later on. If unsure about any aspect of the electrical rough-in, consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector. They can provide guidance and ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. Continuously seek opportunities to improve skills and knowledge of electrical work. Attend training courses, read industry publications, and learn from experienced electricians. The more knowledgeable and skilled, the more efficient work will become. With experience, the speed and efficiency will naturally improve. Don't get discouraged if it takes longer to complete rough-ins at first. Focus on learning the fundamentals, following best practices, and prioritizing safety. With time and practice, work will become faster and more proficient. Regularly review and evaluate the work process to identify areas for improvement. Look for ways to streamline tasks, optimize workflows, and eliminate unnecessary steps. Small changes can add up to significant time savings over time. Consider investing in specialized tools and equipment that can speed up the rough-in process. Examples include wire strippers, crimpers, conduit benders, and fish tapes. These tools can make tasks easier and faster, allowing for more efficient work. Stay up to date on the latest electrical codes and regulations. Changes to the code can affect the way electrical work is performed, so it's important to be aware of the current requirements. Attend code update seminars or consult with a qualified electrical inspector to ensure that the work complies with all applicable regulations. Effective communication is essential for a successful rough-in. Clearly communicate the plan, any changes, and any potential problems to the helper or other members of the team. This will help to avoid misunderstandings and ensure that everyone is on the same page. Maintain a clean and organized work area. This will help to prevent accidents, improve efficiency, and make it easier to find tools and materials. Designate specific areas for tools, materials, and waste disposal. Take breaks regularly to avoid fatigue and maintain focus. Electrical work can be physically and mentally demanding, so it's important to take breaks to rest and recharge. This will help to prevent mistakes and ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. When working in confined spaces, ensure that there is adequate ventilation. Electrical work can generate fumes and dust, so it's important to have good ventilation to prevent respiratory problems. Open windows and doors or use a fan to circulate air. Be mindful of the impact of the work on the homeowners or other occupants of the building. Minimize noise, dust, and disruption as much as possible. Communicate with the homeowners regularly to keep them informed of the progress of the work and any potential issues. Proper planning and preparation can save a significant amount of time and effort. Take the time to thoroughly review the electrical plan, gather all necessary materials, and organize the work area before starting the rough-in. This will help to ensure a smooth and efficient process. When working with three-way switches, take extra care to ensure that they are wired correctly. Three-way switches can be confusing, so it's important to understand the wiring diagram and follow it carefully. Use a multimeter or circuit tester to verify that the switches are working properly. When installing recessed lighting, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Recessed lights can generate heat, so it's important to ensure that they are properly installed and that they meet all applicable codes. Use the correct type of insulation around the fixtures to prevent overheating. When wiring outlets, pay attention to the polarity of the wires. The hot wire should be connected to the brass screw, the neutral wire should be connected to the silver screw, and the ground wire should be connected to the green screw. This will help to prevent electrical shock. When working with metal boxes, ensure that they are properly grounded. Metal boxes can become energized if there is a fault in the wiring, so it's important to ground them to prevent electrical shock. Use a grounding screw or clip to connect the ground wire to the metal box. When running wires through metal studs, use grommets to protect the wires from sharp edges. Metal studs can have sharp edges that can damage the insulation on the wires, so it's important to use grommets to protect them. When working with flexible metal conduit, use appropriate connectors to ensure a secure connection. Flexible metal conduit can be used to protect wires in certain applications, but it's important to use the correct connectors to ensure that the connection is secure and that the wires are protected. When installing ceiling fans, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Ceiling fans can be heavy and can cause serious injury if they are not properly installed. Use a ceiling fan rated electrical box and ensure that the fan is securely mounted to the box. When working with low voltage wiring, such as for thermostats or doorbells, use the correct type of wire and connectors. Low voltage wiring requires different types of wire and connectors than standard voltage wiring. Use the correct components to ensure that the system functions properly and that it meets all applicable codes. When installing smoke detectors, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Smoke detectors are essential for safety and can save lives. Install them in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and ensure that they are properly wired and tested. When working with arc fault circuit interrupters, RFCIs, and ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, understand how they work and when they are required. RFCIs and GFCIs are designed to protect against electrical shock and fire. Install them in accordance with the electrical code and test them regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly. Remember to always prioritize safety and follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. Electrical work can be dangerous, so it's important to take all necessary precautions to protect self and others. If there are any doubts or concerns, consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector.